Good morning. This is MoMo in the morning. Steve Ballage. I just got thinking about everything that's happening right now. Election integrity. What's going to go on? Well, the first thing I thought about was that I keep hearing about all these ballots that are being found. I haven't once heard that they found ballots for Trump. It seems kind of odd that you find hundreds of thousands of ballots, but none of them are for one of the candidates. It just don't make logical sense to me. So the president was up hundreds of thousands of votes, and then after the election ends, all of a sudden these magical mail-in ballots show up, and then the account dwindles and dwindles, and 4 o'clock in the morning, another dump comes, and then the president's losing. It's like, okay. And, I listened to the news, and some of those dumps were 100% for Biden. Some were not saying which way they went. But I never hear of anything positive about finding a dump that was for the president. It's illogical. If the election is so close, the mail-in ballots will be a little bit closer than 100% for one guy. You just got to use your brain a little bit, for God's sake. So here's the problem. We have the Democrats, who are socialists, wanting to destroy the United States as we know it. I talked about cultural Marxism in the past, where in order for socialism to succeed in the United States, they got to rip our society apart. All our traditions, our morals, ethics, and values have got to change. And that's where all this stuff comes in with the cancel culture and the LGBTQ, teaching our little kids this stuff. It's all about making our culture stop in the United States. That's why they don't like the statues. George Washington was a hero until recently, when they said he owned a slave, so now he's a bum. It's just all silly stuff. But the silly stuff is controlled by an organized group wanting to make our country become socialist. The last step was this. They destroyed pretty much most of our stuff. Our education system is gone unless we take it back. They're teaching our kids so that they don't even qualify to get a job, a lot of these kids, when they graduate from high school. They can hardly read and write. But they know about Black Lives Matter. They know about all the socialist programs, but they don't know how to read and write. So if your kids are in a school where they're learning that stuff, how much do they actually know about math? I mean, this is the important stuff. You go to school for reading, writing, and math. You don't go to learn about Black Lives Matter, or we're LGBTQ, we're all equal under the eyes of the law. All this stuff is already been in our Constitution, but they want to bring it up and change it and make it get special status. But this election is all about election integrity. How do you have an election that's everyone thinks it's a fake? When I say everyone, I mean at least half the country or more. Because I know a lot of Democrats that are real upset right now. They're saying, how do we even trust what we vote for anymore? Who is the person that's deciding who is going to get elected? So we have now reached a status of be the worst nation probably on earth, because even communist Russia doesn't do this. At least they just, I don't know if they still do it, they used to just poison the guy that was going to run against whoever they wanted. And that ended it. Well, over here in the United States, we don't worry about anything. Whoever they want. And the they is a big quotation mark, because I don't know who the they is. The they say we want Biden. Well, Biden's going to get it. one way or the other, we're going to steal or fake or make up whatever votes we need. And the country looks at this, and the country is not stupid. Americans are not dumb. Even though they try to make us dumb, we are not dumb. We get it. So I have friends that are hardcore Democrats. And we get along, we just don't talk politics. But now we're talking politics because now we're all agreeing with the same thing. How the hell do you have an election when it's fake? Nobody trusts what happened. President Trump was calling this out months ago, saying that there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. Does anybody do anything? No. Because President Trump can't control the states. The states control their own stuff. So now we have an election that just happened. We do not have the results from a bunch of states. We have all kinds of voter problems. People not being allowed in the polls to watch. We have votes that show up in the middle of the night. We have a bunch of people claiming, because I haven't seen the proofs to some of this stuff, but let's put it like this. They're making ballots just enough to win. Now, I live in Illinois, and Chicago's been doing this kind of racketeering of elections for a long time. No one ever cared about Chicago doing it or Illinois because Illinois is a Democrat state. That's not going to change. Not in the near future. And it probably won't ever change now because now they know how to control the vote. You don't even got to campaign if you're a Democrat, for God's sake. All you just put your name on the ballot and they fill you in. Early ballots come in and you will win. Believe me, early voting is the problem. When I was the clerk in Homer Township years ago, I told the county clerk, hey, you know, this is a bad way to do the election here because the clerk opens up the ballot box at the time and brings all the ballots to the county. And I said, well, I could make a stop-off, steam open the ballots, and change them. I said, so we have all the clerks with that opportunity. They could do that. And if they're in a town where the entire township is the same party and the entire township that's in the building wants to be crooked, you could do it right there. You don't even got to leave your office to do it. The clerk told me, don't worry about it. Nobody in Will County would do that. And that ain't the answer I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, let's fix it. Well, I know they don't have that way of doing it anymore. But when that was going on, that was a Republican clerk. And she said that this is fine. It won't happen here. Well, if it won't happen here, does it happen in Cook County? Does it happen in Grundy County? Does it happen to DuPage? And that was a long time ago. That was like 10 years ago. Since then, I'm sure the people that want to usher in Marxism into the United States have gotten the whole thing perfected. So this is nuts. This is very nuts. We need to support the president in all his litigations. And I don't know if he's going to win or he's going to lose, but I sure hope the hell he wins, because if he don't, we lose. God bless everybody. Say prayers, because it's real important. Because if we lose God, we lost all of it then. We are really screwed if we lose our God. God bless.